All right, Elite Co 3 here, and today we're going to do another one of the Mailbins. Doing these about once a week. I think I did 2 last week, but these are just a fun way to take a look at cards. Sit back, relax, and chill, and not take things too seriously. They have been going about 20 to 30 minutes lately, and that's kind of like the sweet spot, I think, for these types of videos. So lately it's been dominated by baseball. We're in baseball season. Having a lot of fun with the vintage, the new stuff, 90s stuff from my childhood. So let's start off with this one that has been cut into already, but it is a neat little card here. So this is a 72 Topps Hank Aaron, and I believe the seller had it listed at near mint. So it is off-centered from left to right and top to bottom. This bottom border is a little bit thin, but it is a beautiful card nonetheless of Hank Aaron. So this will be one of the, I would kind of think of PSA 7 potential, but I wouldn't be shocked if it came back lower. One of the downfalls of buying the raw vintage is, of course, they've been sifted through for 40, 50 years, and a lot of them have been tampered with, and the sellers know they're selling you a card that's been altered, and you just have to kind of trust the people you're buying from. Maybe buy from people that are more credible, like Greg Morris or Rockledge. So that's one way you can kind of put the odds in your favor, but I think you're still going to have to worry about cards being miscut and etc. And that's just one of the challenges I want to take on and try to have fun with a different aspect of the hobby, because I don't know, I'm always changing what I'm doing and just having fun with it. So here's a 60 Topps Frank Robinson, and he's a vastly underrated player in the hobby. So this is a 60 Topps. Somebody probably knows his rookie year is at 55. Or it might be 57. So this is a 60 Topps for $9 shipped. It looks pretty damn good. This would be one I'd be looking for PSA 5 or higher. It doesn't look miscut or anything. It looks like it's centered pretty well. I don't see any crazy creases, but of course I need to take a closer look at all these cards. So starting off with this one with a couple vintage cards, which is always fun, and then most of these are sealed. So this is all. Sometimes I'll do these mail bins, and I'll kind of filter them. I'll cut into the packages and take out some cards that are like that I don't really feel like I need to show. I mean, cards that are less appealing for the viewers, but this one's just going to be all raw. So this is TNT North. Not a crazy fan of his, but he sold me this Edge Flare Showcase for about $9 shipped. And it has these little tamper things, so you can't return it. But honestly, if you want to return anything on eBay, the sellers or the buyer's always right, so that doesn't really mean anything. So this is the Edge to 1999. This used to be a $120 card, if you can believe it. It could have even been higher. So you've kind of seen how the hobby fluctuates, especially with tailbacks in their rookie seasons. That's just something we all should be cognizant of when collecting, and not just tailbacks. The rookie year is often the year for the hype first cards of a player. So here's a 65. I should know that. 65 Topps, and this one's more kind of in like 3 to 4 shape, I'd say. I see a crease on this top right corner. I just see the corners are kind of pushing up a little bit more than some of the other ones. Not a bad looking card. This was probably one I got cheap for the binder, so I do need to fill out that binder with that binder's full of cards like 2 to 5 grade. So, but I mean, to me, they have overall nice color and eye appeal, and I think they fit the binder nicely. It's just not cards that I would want to get slabbed, although you could, but you can slab anything. That's what I always tell people when they ask me. Slab anything you want. 71. So Pete Rose. This is the set that Topps did. That's kind of got. I mean, it doesn't kind of. It has black borders. To me, I'm seeing a vastly off-centered card here. I barely see a border on this side. It is very small. I don't know if PSA would say that's miscut. I don't know. I've seen cards slabbed with centering this off, but this would be kind of one that I'm looking for like a 5. So I'll kind of throw out the grades, I think. So when I do bid on these cards, I kind of have a plan in mind. I have to factor in how much I have to pay for grading, the probability of what grade I think it'll get by the look of the picture, and that's, you don't have the card in hand. You can only see so much. So most of the auctions of vintage stuff, I don't win. I probably don't win about 70% of them, just because I go too high. Cavalier cards, okay, sent me this. Now they do have the right idea going with the tape. I would opt for painters, and you really got to pinch when you do this. You don't just tape it on. So see how this is moving, and it does hurt when it's in a top loader that's too big. So these are just shipping tips. If you guys ever buy from my store, you'll definitely get a card coming that's been packaged well and properly for your collection. So there's a Breeze. That's the Upper Deck Game Gear. That was a $30 card. So Breeze's stuff is trending up as he is primed to break. I think the all-time passing yards and completion record next season. So that should likely topple. And if he stays healthy, touchdown passes in a couple years. So a lot of records for Breeze. It'd be nice to see him get that second ring, but I mean, I'm just a Breeze fan being optimistic. I think it could happen. I mean, we'll see what happens. So here's a Peyton. This was about $30 as well. So this is the 1998 Upper Deck Star Rookie. Pretty iconic card. Recently slabbed with 9,947. That's the cert number on this one. And the subs were pretty good, so it's kind of one that looked like a stronger 9 to me. That corner on the top right does not look that good, but it does have 9 corners. So Beckett does allow a lot of, I think they do allow a lot of flaws to still keep that 9 sub grade or an 8.5 sub. From my experience, what I've seen. So there is some football trickling in here. We're just going the Hall of Fame quarterback route, I guess. Here's a nice Hank. So this was one that I think I got it in, and I was like, man, that thing's rough. It does have the look of authentic, but it does have paper loss, so I'm going to sell this one. I don't want this in the binder. I think it was only like $6, but still, it's the 63, and that bugs me. Some collectors are probably fine with it, but the crease bothers me down the forehead, but the paper loss really gets me as a collector. So that one, I'll just put it in the store and kind of note the paper loss, but I'm sure somebody will buy it and say I didn't see the paper loss and return it. So that might take a few sales to get that one out of here. And I don't know if I just didn't notice it or they didn't post a back picture, but I wouldn't have bid on that if I knew. 92 Fleer Update Piazza. Beautiful. Not sure the pop on this one, but I am a fan of Fleer 92. I think Fleer put out some great stuff. And this is the update. I'm very intrigued to know the pop on this card. I'd guess it's 20 to 30%, but that's just me guessing off the top of my head. But this is a $150 card in a PSA 10, so it's definitely a valuable Piazza. More valuable than the Bowman. So I love that Piazza, but I do like the Bowman one better. The Bowman one's just so iconic. And that card's at about 75 to 85 right now, I think. Here's another slab card. And this is a Devers, so he's kind of a kid that he's young. He's only 21. His numbers are pretty good this year. He's got good production with the homers and RBIs. The average and on base does leave a lot to be desired, but you got to take into account his age. So he's got a lot of room to grow. Potential, a guy that I've talked about in the past that could be around for a long time. I like this one because it's in the PSA 9 slab already, and I know this set is just Topps did a bad job with their quality control and 15 Bowman Chrome. This is actually Bowman, but it's a Chrome card. There's surface scratches on this Chrome a lot and like scuffs, so a Mint 9 is great in this. So that's the refractor to $4.99. I just like Devers. I think he's going to be good, and I do prospect a little bit. I don't go crazy buying the ultra expensive autos, but I will dabble here and there. I think I picked up some Albie stuff lately. So here's some basketball cards. This was a cool little lot. That one's almost out of the top loader, so people just don't get it. And at this point, I think it's too late for people to understand it. But that's a beautiful Bowman Chrome. I didn't have this card, and I have tried to buy more of Altuve, so this is definitely a lot that I wanted to get my hands on. I can't remember the price on this one, guys, but it did include a bunch of these paper ones. So this is Bowman Draft, a bunch of the papers, and I thought, this set's probably pretty tough because of the black borders, but I'm going to give it the roll of a dice. It's worth it to me. So a bunch of Altuves here. We've got a second Chrome one, and obviously these are all raw, so these are great PSA candidates in my eyes. And then we got the Bowman Chrome one. Now, this is another issue that Topps I think they had an issue with their Chrome. This set's often warped, and it's always dirty on the surface. Like it's just like you wipe it, and you just can't get it to look clean. That just the chrome on this is different than other chrome years. So if you have any 2010 Bowman chrome cards, take a closer look at that. You'll probably get what I'm talking about. These mail days fly. I'm already at 10 minutes. We're not getting very far into the bin. Have to start making these an hour. No, that's a little excessive. Here's a Rogers. So this is the 2005 Topps. This is a good card to pick up if you just want a basic Topps rookie of Rogers, and it's very affordable, 15 to 25 range. And they are, this is a card that you could buy raw and get a 10 on. But my expectations for this are more towards a 9. And that's the Topps Rogers. I think when you get too obsessed with PSA 10s, it takes some of the fun out of collecting, because it's just so pricey to get 10s and so much more affordable to get 9s. And I don't know, 10s are great in certain sets. I weigh them more, but in some sets I'm fine with 9s. So here's some more vintage stuff. I don't know, I think this was Rockledge, so let me get some soft sleeves. I don't like how these are just thrown in here. So these were obviously all bought from the same seller, but I'm just going to slide them out, and it's not like they're in gem mint condition or anything like that. But I do like to put all my cards in a penny sleeve at least. I think it's a respect thing. So here's the Sandy. This is 66, right? 66 Topps Sandy. The expectations on this are like 5 to 6. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. The back and then the front right there. So we'll see. I honestly just want to have fun with this vintage baseball. So here's a Bob Clemente, or of course Roberto Clemente. And it looks kind of more like the EX condition. And I'll have to look at the listing to see. But these cards all look authentic. So there's a Clemente. Beautiful card. And of course, if the cards aren't in a condition that I want to send them off, I can always put them in the binder or resell them. And here's the Pete Rose 69. So we got all those in sleeves. Kind of the bright pink background on this 69. I noticed some of the 69 backs aren't as dark. And I think that was common with Topps. They did a lot of different colored backs back in the day. So I wouldn't be too alarmed with that. You can kind of tell when you have a counterfeit card by the surface. If you just feel it, it just feels shady. It's just like it's too smooth or something. But those counterfeiters do a good job if you have yourself questioning. I mean, just think about it. These cards were printed in the 60s, so it'd be tough to make one look real nowadays. But I guess there's a lot of software out there. 65 Hank. So this looks like a binder card here. You can just tell it's got that, and it might have a mark on it. Marks, yeah, it's like a pen mark. That really bugs me. It's kind of like paper loss to me. But see how this corner is really pushed in? That's kind of distinguishing of like a PSA 3. There's a PSA handout where they talk about all this. Got a small crease going here, and the corners are all pushed in. This looks like a PSA 3 with the MK on it. So if I slabbed it, that's what I would probably expect on that one. And then we got this Marischal. I believe it's 65. Let's cut this off. Yeah, so 65 Marischal. This was like $3 or something. Solid player. This one looks a little bit better than the Hank. It's definitely centered better. I don't see a mark. This is more like the 4 to 5 range, I think. So those are just some more vintage baseball. And I think I talked about in a recent Mailbin that I expect one of the Mailbins just to be a bunch of vintage baseball cards, because I know I was going nuts on them. And they kind of trickle in here and there. So let's see what else we got. Okay. I didn't buy this, so it is a neat card though. It's a Ricky Williams. This might be a care package, so if you did send this, thank you. I just don't remember buying this, or I bought something, they shipped the wrong card, and I'll have to deal with that later on. So a Ricky with the Dolphins logo and a Saints jersey. So neat little card there. Here's another envelope. Now I have thought about starting to ship with plain whites. I know that makes people cringe sometimes, but for low end cards like this, I think it makes a lot of sense the way that shipping prices have increased. So here's a Fred Rookies and Stars. I think this was like $1. That's an iconic Sweet Fred. Definitely not an easy pull. Love that card for $1. I guess we'll do one of these. So these are one of these small flat rate boxes, which is like the most efficient and effective way to ship mid to high end cards, in my opinion. Just offers uncanny protection. We'll just cut, I guess. So this could be something pretty sweet. It might be. I really don't know. It's coming from Canton, Ohio. Definitely a lot of care put into the shipping. Let's go into the bag here. Oh, this is sweet. I bought this a while ago. It must have gotten buried at the bottom of the bin. This is actually a printing plate of Francisco Lindor from 2010 Bowman Chrome. He's in the USA jersey. It's the yellow plate. You can kind of see the background there, but I thought it was a sick card. It was expensive though, 120 bucks. But it's a cool plate of a Lindor that, I mean, I would consider it a rookie. For him, I consider 2010, 2011, and 2015 rookies. So that's a cool little Francisco Lindor card that the seller did put a lot of time in to get to me safely. So thank you on that. We got an Alex Reyes. So he has gotten hurt again. I think his lat separated off his bone, so he's out for, I don't know, probably another year. So it just sucks for the kid. He's got incredible stuff and potential. Just can't stay healthy. So this is his gold refractor. It's a prospect card from 2015. His first chrome cards were issued in 2014, regular Bowmans. This is just kind of like a prospect card, but it was a neat card. I bought it kind of when he was coming back. I was getting some Alex Reyes fever. I wanted to watch him pitch, but the ride's over for now. But he is a young kid, so he's got time to come back. Here's a Devers. So this is I'll just show it like this. This is Purple Ice from 2014 Bowman Draft. This is a rookie of Devers to me. So Purple Ice to 99. Neat little Devers card. I think that was about 10 bucks. Devers has some hobby. Probably, I mean, he's got a lot of potential, and he plays in Boston. Those are good. A couple of good ways to get hobby. This was an interesting one to me, just from a price point. So I think I just put in I typed in PSA 6s or 7s, and I figured I'd pay about the price of a PSA 6 for this SGC 7 Pete Rose 69. So let's look at the characteristics of a 7 for SGC. They do grade pretty damn good, in my opinion. They're my second favorite grading company now. So you see a little bit of corner wear for these, and on the front too, it's off centered. The surface looks pretty good. There's little dots right there, so I mean, it looks like a 7. It even looks higher. I think it could be higher on a different day with a different set of eyes. So there's that Pete Rose. Don't remember the price on that one though. I want to say like 30 bucks. That's a bill. So if this video shuts off quickly, that's just because my phone ran out of memory, and we'll probably just end the Mailbin there. So I think we got some more time, but if it does shut off, that's what happened. I hate to do a video like that, but it's just kind of where I'm at. So we got a Pete Rose 66, right? 67. So let's see how the seller had this one listed. He doesn't really have a condition. It just says Pete Rose, number 430, and it was crazy expensive for a raw card. This might have been a dummy buy by me. You know, I said in the last video, you got to point out your bad buys, and I think this was a bad buy, guys. I don't remember what he had it listed at, but I mean, that's just a crazy price for this card. So I'll have to look further into this and see what I was thinking. But it doesn't look terrible. It looks like a 5 or 6, so that's not smart buying right there. Let's try to change the tide with this next package. There we go. I think I'm in. Try to slide out without bending. There we go. Another vintage card. So let's check the receipt on this one. It's interesting to see how they're labeled and the price to me. So this is labeled as near mint, and it was $24.50 shipped. So let's take a look at it. You guys can be the judge too. I'll tell you what I think in person. It is badly off centered. I think this is a tough set to get centered though. So I don't know if we get a PSA 8 with that centering. The back looks pretty good. The corners are soft. It looks more like a 7 to me, and maybe even lower. So I don't think it's an 8 at all. But you guys can chime in with what you think. I think if the centering was a little bit better right to left, it would be an 8. But I think that really takes away from the card. Here's another vintage card. 68th. Hank Aaron. This one looks pretty good. It's got soft little corners. Looks like it's in like the, I'd say 3.5 to 5 range for this one. So 68 tops Hank. This Mailbin's just littered with vintage cards. And then we're going right to some mosses. So these were crazy cheap. I think this moss insert on the back, the Quasars, was like $1.50. So I think it just got missed in the shuffle of auctions. And then the tops was like $3.50 or so. So a couple nice moss candidates that'll be looked over for grading. Always nice to get those slabbed. Here's a cool Koufax. This is 62. The wood grain finish, much like the 1987 tops. The back, I don't know if that would be taken as a stain. If it is, I mean, I don't think I should send it in. But that looks like something. I mean, I might gamble with it, but that looks like an issue for sure. So that's kind of the thing when you're buying cards and you don't see the back you have to deal with. But it does look pretty good. It looks like it's in about like PSA 5 shape or so. So it is a great looking card, and even with the stain, I'd probably consider it for the binder. So I'll just make decisions on those as I go. This was crazy cheap, like $12 shipped for this Ichiro, and it is the Bowman Draft 2011. This seems like a card that would be tough to get in high grade because of the black on the front and back. So it is in the new Lighthouse holder as well. So I just thought this was a slick pickup for the price. I'm sure a 10 is like $70. So to get a clean 9 for that price is just a no-brainer. Here's an Edge. So I don't know where these cards are coming from. I didn't buy this one either. Massachusetts. So these have to be just cards I'm getting from subscribers. Thank you. Supreme Edge 2001, 2000. So that an Edge, little insert of Edge. Cards are just trickling in here. Here's another 69 Rose. And this one is, looks pretty good. Got some rough corners there, but it's kind of in the 3.5 to 5 range. It's centered really, really well though. So I think it has great overall initial eye appeal. But I don't think it's a high grade card though, just because those corners are kind of wore out there. We'll try this one. It might be a lot or something, but we'll try to cut into this one. Okay. Packaged very well for this one. Is this a lot? Let's see what's in here. I think I won this lot. I don't know why I even bid on this. Yeah, it's like a lot of 87 tops Nolan Ryan cards. So I don't know, there's like 70 of them or 50, I don't know, but it was only like $3. So I think I just bought it because I'd already bought this and I wanted to save on shipping. Sometimes I do that. This is an 8. It was like $12. So an 8 Vladdy. I'll take a look at that one and see if I want to snap it and try to get a 9 or something. But it's being very opportunistic to do stuff like that. So there's a Nolan Ryan lot. I'll probably just put those back in the store. It's kind of like a buy that you buy and you're like, I don't really want those. I don't need 70 of them. I mean, I'll take a couple. Throw a couple in a binder and call it a day. Okay, this is a neat one. The price on these, 35 to 40, I'd say, for each. So these are a couple blue waves from 2014. Topps did do a good job with 2014 Bowman Chrome in terms of clean surfaces and scratching. But these could be susceptible to, I mean, any card you buy raw could be scratched all up. Sometimes there's a reason cards are for sale. So a couple Mookies. He is back from the DL, so we'll see how he continues, see how the rest of the season goes. This was an expensive card here. Okay, cool. This was $80 shipped. So an Ultra 2000 Tom Brady. Let's cut this off so we can just see the back, the condition. It's interesting when you buy these raw just to see how they actually show up. This one looks pretty good. This looks like a near mint card, so little white showing there, but a nice little Brady 2000 Ultra. So we are getting some football in here. It's not all baseball, right? Okay, if I can get this out. We got an Acuna Heritage Minors 16. About a $15 card. I believe this is an SP2, so a little Acuna. I pick up some here and there, but I don't go nuts on him. And then let's do this one. I think this is a GAI Bob Gibson card. Yeah, GAI 7. I was gonna probably put this in the binder. It was like $5, so Bob Gibson 73 Topps. Neat little card right there. Tons of vintage in this one. All right, I want to do this one just because it's sick. We're gonna end with a bang, and I know exactly what card this is. And oddly enough, this card used to be worth a lot less, but it has continued to climb in price. And this one was bought at the bottom of the market, so I mean, not cheap, but it's not. I mean, I kind of watched the whole past year's sales and just kind of tried to pick this one up. Usually you can pull this tab and it opens right up. There we go. So this is a PWCC. I try to avoid their auctions for the most part just because they go so high. But if there is something I want, I will take a look at it. So this was and they are great shippers too. Much better than Probsting. This is just kind of more of like an investment card. So it's the 01 Contenders LT and a 10. So not sure what this is going on the slab right here. It's a little bothersome. But a PSA 10, when you see a 10 in this Contenders 01, it just looks so beautiful because you really have a lot of respect for this set and the white chipping that comes with it. So, of course, to get one of the best backs of all time, his Contenders rookie in a 10 is just filthy. So, this one will just go into the bank. You know, this is one I just want to hold. So, there's an LT. These used to be about $400 to $500, but they've spiked to around $1,300 to $1,600. So, very hot card. And the breeze of this is, I think, over $5 to $6K now. So, just gone nuts lately. So, that's it for this one, guys. We'll do the left and right Carnage, and there's the stack. So I'll get this one uploaded later.